Schwartz, and if you've been around the Libertarian Party for a while, you know he's our resident expert when it comes to candidate paperwork and campaign finance. So let me introduce Leonard Schwartz.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Leonard Schwartz. I've been the state party's campaign finance law advisor since '99. I've been the state party's political director for the past 3 years. I have a lot of experience as a candidate. In 2000, I was the Libertarian Party candidate for Oakland County prosecutor. In 2002, I ran for a district court judgeship. That's nonpartisan. 2004, I was the Libertarian Party candidate for Justice of the Supreme Court. And in 2006, I was the candidate for a United States Senator. And that year, I was the only Libertarian Party candidate for U.S. Senator who got more votes than both the Green Party candidate and the Constitution Party candidate. This year, I'll be going to the National Convention seeking the nomination for Vice President. And if I don't get the thank you. And if I don't get the nomination, then I plan to run for U.S. Senator again. So either way, I'll be around here for a while. First, I'd like to talk about campaign finance law. Now, if you have the newest edition of the Michigan Libertarian, which just came out, and turn to page 8, you'll see campaign finance information. There's more issues in the back corner over there if you don't have one. On the left column, it talks about congressional candidates, and on the right two columns, it's for state and local candidates. And that article has an error. It says to get campaign finance manuals and forms, you should call or write to the Bureau of Elections. Well, I recently found out that the Bureau of Elections, to save money, is no longer printing these manuals. And so the only way to get the manuals and the forms is to go to the Secretary of State's website. And that's michigan.gov/SOS. In fact, I got one of the last few remaining copies of the new edition of the state campaign finance manual. Now, I know many people here have already been a candidate before, and you probably still have the old edition. Over the past many years, there hasn't been any change in state campaign finance law, and the only difference is that on the new version, they've reorganized the material. So the information is still the same, so you can still use your old manual if you don't want to download and print the new one. Main change that they made this year is they moved a lot of the material that was in the main part of the manual into the appendix. Like the old version had, I think, 40 or 45 pages in the main part, plus another 20 or 25 pages in the appendices. The new version has 25 pages in the main part and then another 40 pages in the appendices. So, and one thing I want to point out is that these manuals are very well written. It's very easy to understand. It's long, but since the main part is all you probably ever need to look at, now it's only 25 pages long. And in this article, I just sort of summarized the most important parts. If you're running for Congress, and by the way, I hope that we get people running active candidates for Congress, because it gets people more attention if we have active candidates running for Congress than for, say, just a state representative, because each district is much larger. You get the Federal Elections Commission is still printing these. They will mail a copy of the manual to you. It's a very long manual. The main part is around 100 pages long, and there's about another 25 pages of appendices. This also is a very well-written manual. It's easy to understand. It's long, but if you read it, you probably should have no questions about anything. And so in this article, again, I just summarized the most important parts. One thing I want to point out that's very important is that if you're running for state and local office, and if you spend and receive less than $1,000, then you have a waiver on filing the periodic reports. And since no one likes to do the paperwork, you can actually run a fairly active campaign on less than $1,000. And if you're running for Congress, you don't have a waiver on filing reports as long as it's less than $5,000. So you can, if you don't want to do the paperwork, you can still do quite a lot of work on just $5,000. I have another article in this edition, page 6. It says how to become a candidate. This is about candidate paperwork. It goes you step by step about how to do all the paperwork. And again, everything's fairly straightforward. And if you read this article, I shouldn't have any questions. But I'm here to answer any questions if anyone has any. That's all I wanted to say now. Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
That $5,000 waiver for Congress, does that include U.S. Senate?
Yes.
And one thing you ought to think about is at the state level, if you're running for a state office, you're supposed to file your campaign committee within 10 days if you become a candidate and start collecting contributions. And if you're going to run an active campaign, you've got the question in your mind is whether or not to claim this $1,000 waiver. Sometimes it makes sense to claim the waiver when you first file, if you're filing now, because otherwise you're going to have to file pre-convention and post-convention reports if you don't claim the waiver. So if you're just going to collect no more than $1,000 up to the convention in early June, claim your waiver now, and then after the convention you can blow your waiver, and that saves you a chunk of paperwork. I know that from sore experience managing
Yes.
his campaign. At the last minute, we're scrambling before the convention to file the campaign finance paperwork because he wasn't, Bill Jeleno was spending more than $1,000 on his campaign.
Yes, and again, if you're running for state or local office, you're required to file the statement of organization, even if you don't plan to spend even $1. Just the mere fact that you're a candidate, you have to file that one-page information sheet. And again, always check off the box for the waiver, even if you later expect to spend over $1,000, because you might change your mind or whatever. But you must file that one form, even if you don't plan to spend $1.
Two forms. Affidavit of identity?
There's one campaign finance form, that's statement of organization.
Right.
Then you have your affidavit of identity, and actually it's 2 pages you have to file to be a candidate. And under the candidate paperwork part, you have to file your affidavit of identity and your acceptance of nomination.
So essentially everyone has these forms in their folder. If you wanted to sit and fill them out today, you could, and ask questions. And there's actually a third piece to all of this, which I believe Leonard refers to in the article he wrote for the Michigan Libertarian, and that is, of course, the nomination and a piece of paper signed by, if it's a state-level office, the party secretary, the state party secretary, or if it's a local office, signed by your local caucus secretary certifying that you received the nomination.
Correct. Anything else? Yes.
Yeah, let's say you're thinking of running for an office, the convention hasn't happened yet, and then at the convention you decide that, you know what, there's already competition for this office, or you get beat out in the voting for it, you decide to run for something else. Does your statement of organization carry over to that, or do you close the early organization and form a new one?
Okay. Well, first of all, as far as the name of your political committee, I strongly suggest that the name did not refer to any particular office. So just put down Friends of Scotty Bowman or CTE Scotty Bowman or Scotty Bowman for Michigan or whatever. And that way, if you file your initial report and you put down one office, then all you have to do is file an amended report, amended statement of organization. So it doesn't, you don't have to close the account. You just file an amendment. And that's very important if you're running many years, like this guy's been a candidate for many, many times, and he doesn't have to form a new committee each time. He can just continue using the same committee name over and over again. And again, that reduces some of the aggravation about first closing, then opening a new bank account. Just use the same bank account all the time. There's a few exceptions about that, but again, it reduces your paper. Just file a revised statement of organization.
I think all of us have done this before, see other people kind of wiggling in their seats, and everyone knows that there's a lot of different permutations about what needs to be discussed. If you're thinking about running for office and are concerned about paperwork, find somebody in your local affiliate, or contact Leonard, or Bill, or Eric, or Greg, or me, or anybody else who's kind of done this paperwork, and we will gladly walk you through it step by step. There are things you need to do in terms of filling your forms out. There are also things you have to do in conjunction with your nominating caucus. And so it can get a little confusing depending on what office you're talking about. And the big thing is don't think you can't do it, because someone will be glad to help you.
Correct. And again, as long as you have a waiver, there's only 3 forms. Each of them is only 1 page long. It only takes you a few minutes to fill out all 3 of those forms. So it's really quite simple.
Leonard, help me understand, we're having our convention here in June, but will anyone be able to file anything here with the state before the convention?
You can, first of all, you can file your statement of organization at any time. As far as filing your acceptance of nomination and your affidavit of identity, you can't do that until after the state convention. Yeah, Bill.
I'm confused. I thought that the office you were running for was entirely within one county, within the district, that you didn't have to wait for anything at the convention.
No, you still do, because the county caucuses do not officially close until the date of the state convention. And so therefore all the county, the information that each county will file with its county clerk all has to be turned in on the Monday right after the state convention.
Thank you.
And so don't file either the affidavit of identity or the acceptance of nomination until that Monday after the state convention. Otherwise, it causes problems for the other candidates in that county.
And what we're trying to do here is the major party candidates are set by mid-May. So first week of June, you'll know whether, for example, you've got a race where no Democrat filed for the primary, and so you're guaranteed a one-on-one race with a Republican in the fall. But we've deliberately set the convention late so you can find situations like that, find situations where it's really going to be a contested race on both sides, so you know you'll be a balance of power. So it makes sense, logical sense, to wait until early June.
Right, and emphasizing that if you want to get a lot of free publicity from the news and media, it's best to either go in a race where there's no Democrat or no Republican, or where it looks like the race between the Democrat and Republican will be very close, and your vote will be, you can get higher percentage of votes than the difference between the Democrat and the Republican. So if you don't have any special preferences, that is how you can get the most publicity. Yeah.
The filing deadlines for judicial judges, county commissioner, state representative are?
Well, all judgeships except for Justice of the Supreme Court are nonpartisan, and so those you have to actually file earlier than that, because you won't be going through the state party. So you want to run for a district court or circuit court.
What is the deadlines for those county commissioner, state representative?
Sometime in late April or early May, I'm not sure.
May 8th is county commissioner. It's in Wayne County.
That's for partisan office.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, if you're running for partisan office, often some libertarians party members will run for office as a Democrat or Republican, and sometimes they actually get elected. Back in, I think it was 92 or 94, Greg Keza, who ran, longtime Libertarian, ran for state representative as a Republican. He didn't hide the fact that he was really Libertarian, and he got the nomination, and he was served 3 terms of office. And this year, Andy LaCuro will be seeking the nomination as a Democrat for state representative, and he has a good chance of winning the primary. So again, the filing deadline for partisan office, running as Democrat Republican, is that May deadline.
Is that the same for judicial races? Is it
No,
the same for
judicial
state representative?
judicial races are earlier. Check with the Bureau of Elections, and I think it's 2 weeks earlier.
Okay.
And those you have to get petitions. Now, if you're running, pardon?
You just can't put your name in if you want to run for district court judge or appellate judge.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really easy to get. I ran for district court judge in 2002. I got all the signatures I needed in 1 weekend. Just went door to door in my district. So people love to sign petitions.